The fundamental problem here is that headphones are a miraculous thing. You put on a pair of headphones and you get the same experience you get with a great pair of speakers, right? There's no such thing as headphones for video, right? There's not something I can carry with me that I can put on and it gives me the same experience I get when I'm watching my 50-inch plasma display at home. And until somebody invents that, you're going to have these opposing constraints.
Well, they have those huge goggles you can wear.
Oh, but they're lousy.
But
right.
you never get a date if you ever wear them, right?
Good thing I'm already married. Over the next 7 days, I'm going to be taking out every monitor, iPad, and screen from my studio, and I want to see if the Apple Vision Pro can truly enhance the creative workflow experience. See, the video I was going to upload the other day falls in line very much with everything else that everyone had talked about. How does it feel on the head? How cool are the demo experiences? What was the store pickup like? And at this point, even I am tired of watching videos like that. So for this video, we're going to focus on what we do best around here: video editing. What is the practical experience like for DaVinci Resolve and other editing program users on the Vision Pro? Real quick, I just want to throw it out there that this is a product that I am so excited about all of the capabilities, even beyond video editing. And so I did make the decision to make a dedicated separate channel for the Apple Vision Pro experience. I've got a ton of videos plans that you haven't seen anywhere else, and currently there's just 2 videos over there, one of which I think is a unique take on the Vision Pro I haven't really heard people talk about yet. So if you're interested in content like this, it would mean the world to me if you went over there and got subscribed so we can grow that channel and community as well. If Blackmagic ever comes out with a native DaVinci Resolve Vision Pro experience, that video will most likely live on this channel. But if I want to experiment, try out new apps, experiences, hack things away and try to innovate with this product, then that is going to happen on the Vision Pro experience. Anyways, back to this video. So I've now had this for a handful of days, and yes, I think we're still in the honeymoon phase of the Vision Pro, but there was such an influx of videos being made around it. So myself, along with I'm sure you as a viewer, you've kind of gotten past the initial like wow experiences, and now I'm starting to enter the phase of like, okay, like, is this going to be something that sits on the shelf like my Quest 2 that I just pull out to show other people or maybe play a quick experience every once in a while? Or can this actually fit into my almost daily workflow of being a content creator? This by no means is a flawless device. And with video editing, you're gonna see quite a few obstacles and speed bumps that hopefully will get fixed in software updates. So here we're gonna primarily focus in DaVinci Resolve, but I wanna make a quick interesting note for all you Final Cut users. I was shocked when I saw that the Final Cut Pro for iPad wasn't even available. And so we don't have a Vision Pro app, and we also don't have the compatibility of just the iPad version as well. So the only way a Final Cut Pro editor is going to be able to have a good experience with the Vision Pro is by connecting it to a Mac and just having the external display. Same thing goes with, of course, Adobe Premiere. So for now, let's jump into the headset and see what editing in DaVinci Resolve actually looks like and how you actually have a couple different options for how you would like to use it. And then afterwards, I'll share my thoughts for how I feel after long hours of editing with this, and if it feels like a better or worse experience than just using a regular monitor. So now, of course, we're inside of the Vision Pro. You guys can see what I normally see when I record videos. And so let's go ahead and open up DaVinci Resolve. So you can go to the App Store and download DaVinci Resolve for the iPad version, which this is going to be the closest that you have to kind of native video editing in here. So I can bring this up, and of course you can resize this like anything else. So it's pretty nuts that I can have a giant editing screen, or you can kind of keep it more modest like you're used to. That is really small. That literally looks like the iPad size. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to get a keyboard connected, and to be honest, I haven't even tested it out because I've mostly been using the computer to edit. But if we're using the native app here, how can we connect our keyboard? So, well, forgot this was over here. And I'm going to grab my new Logitech keyboard. Let's go ahead and open up our settings, and we're going to go to Bluetooth, press and hold. There we go. So number 2. Okay, so that connected. The eye tracking is pretty incredible in this native app. If I look right here, then I can literally grab that compared to if I look at the color page and I want to switch over here. If I want to look at one of the nodes, it's ridiculous how accurate this is. If I want to turn on and off, this is not necessarily perfection, but it is insanely impressive for how good it is. And you can actually see it. I have the setting turned on to where I can zoom with my 2 fingers here, so that is very helpful. And if you don't already know, if you bring any window really close to you, actually, kind of like right here, you can actually just touch it like it's a normal iPad app. So I can go in here and just tap that. I can tap fit. I can go back to my edit here, and I can go here. If I want to add in this other clip, sorry, I didn't have many clips on my iPad in my files app here, but we just got this guy. But now I have the keyboard, so I can add that in. And just because I know some people still want to be traditional video editing, and do the same thing with my mouse. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I guess any MX Master owners, it will technically connect, but does not seem to work in the OS. So I'm guessing if you had a Apple trackpad, that would probably work. But for me, my mouse is going to have to be my hands, and I can either interact with it directly like it's a giant iPad, which is totally cool. My favorite part of this experience is going in for color grading, because if I go in and delete all that, add in some new nodes. If you don't have a keyboard, I can just add nodes up here. They really did a good job at having everything. And I can go into my LUTs, and this was the DJI. This isn't the right LUT, the X9 I don't have installed on the iPad version, but we can put our LUT right there, go to this node, and you can see it's not perfect. Like it's I would say it's like 90% there. The reason I'm so excited is because for Gen 1 in the first week on 1.02 software, this is incredible. And so knowing that's only going to get so much better from here is nuts. And so I can just grab these, change my exposure. And I was a little worried that if I wasn't looking at the tool, would it still make the changes? And as long as you look to grab the tool and then look up at your image, then you can interact with it. Now, as cool as working with these is, the fact that I can grab the wheel and color grade, the con to it is when you let go, you can very easily slide off from where you want. So when I'm actually working with this tool, it feels really precise. Like I feel like I can move it ever so slightly and get exactly where I want. But then when I take my hand away, you almost want to pull your hand straight back, because if I were to, dial in my view here and then like just raise my hand then, or put it down, or if I were to grab it and then kind of pull down, then it's gonna, pull those colors down. So that can be kind of frustrating, definitely. So you gotta be get a little used to the color wheels. I really wish that I could grab my Apple Pencil and use this as a input device, but you can see literally just chroma keys behind the window, so that doesn't work. So is it better than video editing on a normal with a normal mouse and keyboard, or having the very expensive color wheel control panels? No, of course not. A Hollywood colorist isn't gonna, sell all their stuff and just buy this and be good to go. But if you're on the go and you don't have your color panels with you, I think having different inputs like this is a more, for me, enjoyable editing experience. I feel like after a handful of days of use, that maybe by the end of the week, using this every day, my input level will become just as fast as me using a mouse and keyboard. Like I have already felt in the past 4 days that I am flying through this interface just as fast as if I was using a mouse and keyboard. And like I said, it's not perfect. You can see like it's smooth, but it has moments of clunkiness. But the fact that I can just grab anything, I'm still working in my inspector. Sometimes taps take 2 different ones. I actually don't mind this on-screen keyboard, but of course I have my physical keyboard now. And we can see the keyboard goes away. So if I wanted to bring up my notes for maybe I was working on this video here. So this is actually from when I was doing my first round where I was making that normal kind of first impressions video. So I can have my notes right here. And then let's see, if I'm color grading and I don't need to worry about audio, I could pull up a movie and I could just put that, you know, maybe make it up here behind where I'm working so I can still glance up. Right now we have settings over here, but what other useful thing? I could maybe have reference photos or my different assets. Now, actually, I didn't try this. Can I take, let's say I want this ProRes file. Can I grab this and import it? I probably need to put it in the media bin. So can I grab it and place it into here? Ah, that'd be so cool. We'll try it with the Mac screen, but at least from the native app, you can't do that. But if I still wanted to look at B-roll reference footage and be like, okay, I know I want to bring in this clip right here, then I can go over here to media, don't care to add a bin, want to import, and you can go to import folder. This will of course bring up your files app. A lot of people were asking, well, how are you going to get access to your footage? And anything that you put in iCloud Drive. So if I put iCloud Drive on my computer, then I can bring that into here and I can make a folder. So if you have the iCloud storage space, and yes, if you have a couple minutes to import that footage. I think this is a great solution if you work in social media content, because generally, like, I have the 512 gig. If you have the 1 terabyte, that's gonna be, you know, enough of like phone footage for you shooting ProRes like me all the time. That'll fill up fast. But regular other B-roll type footage, I think, will be pretty manageable for working with the Files app like that. Or of course, you can import from the Photos app, which is just going to bring up this interface here. And so here we have the same thing. And of course, I can select all the clips I want. So now I can add those in. This is where people may see the inefficiencies in this, because it can be a slower process than just, you know, you can't plug in a hard drive to the headset. But while I'm waiting for that to import, you know, I can go in here and watch a movie or something. So, you know, let's be real. A lot of us content creators, we like to work for, 30 minutes and then, oh no, we have to wait 10 minutes for this to transfer. I don't mind just watching some YouTube videos or watching a movie or something. So, you know, there's worse things to happen in life, in my opinion. Now I'm going to go eat lunch and I'm going to show you that I can take this off and put it back on and go right back into work when I need to. All right, it's been about 30, 40 minutes. Honestly, it's been maybe longer than that. I don't know. I had a good lunch and let's see if I can jump back into it and have all my workspaces be in the same spot. Took me a second to get the screen record going, but yeah, all my windows are exactly where they were. All right, so I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what it looks like to use the native app. But now let's check out what it looks like to use a MacBook. So here I can just open my computer up. I'm gonna unlock it with my finger, and then I should see a connect button pop up. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. There we go, didn't take too long. I'm gonna hit connect. Screen's gonna go black on there, and I just very simply get a window to my computer. And the beautiful thing about this, of course, is it's your computer, right? So all my drives that are plugged in, my Drovo, Cloud Store, all that good stuff is still accessible from here. So I can go down to my dock and see all my apps and everything. And I will say, I've had the most amount of bugs with the Connect to the Mac. A lot of the time, whether it's after a few minutes, I don't know if it's having a bunch of other stuff open and I'm just kind of peaking. I wish there was some sort of CPU widget. I need to try to find one. Because yeah, if I go in and start to video edit, for example, I have my speed editor. Of course, I could grab my keyboard again, but I have my speed editor here. Just wake it up. So now my speed editor is connected and the image looks great. I know you guys are just seeing, I think, a 1080p screen share, but this looks like a 4K monitor to me. Here's the big question I had, and it wasn't an immediate answer. I really wanted to kind of wait a handful of days, use this for many, many hours, and then be able to answer this for you guys. Does looking at this for me feel the same level of clarity and quality as looking at my ultrafine 5K that's sitting over in the corner currently? The answer is no, but it feels about 90% there, 90, maybe 95. Like, it is clear. It is not like when I look on my Quest 2, which feels pixelated. Like, it feels like a 4K image. If you are used to editing on a really high pixel dense, high resolution monitor, then you may feel a little bit off with this. Again, it's still 100% usable. The looking and tapping is unreal. Like, I'm going to look at the razor tool right now. Again, the experience is crazy. The fact that, again, I can put this anywhere. If you're on an airplane and you're used to having a giant monitor at home, but now you're just coming around, you know, I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but this, if I was carrying around my wife's 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro, which I hate editing on, I could sit in an airplane, throw it up to be this huge, amazing screen, and this is incredible. This is so awesome. And at this size, like, it still looks very clear. I can read everything. Now, a lot of people were worried about color accuracy, and I'll throw up the specs on the screen. I think it's like 93% P3 color space or something like that. Like, it's definitely, Apple doesn't do crappy colors or quality. So it is a very good color accurate screen. Do I think a Hollywood colorist is going to color grade the next blockbuster film using this thing? Probably not. But in terms of content creation, this looks to be very accurate for what I see on my MacBook Pro and what I end up exporting and uploading. Which, by the way, when I upload it to YouTube and other platforms, the colors seem to shift a little bit anyway, so not big of a deal in my book. In my eyes, this looks very, very color accurate, and I am very happy with the representation of it. And this just looks so good. That text is so, and that graphic is so clear. The only thing to remember with the computer one, because I got asked this a bunch, is you cannot do the interactive. So like how I can turn around and on the native version, I can look and just, you know, touch and pull this, or I can do the pinch and grab, and I can interact with the interface like that. You cannot do that with the computer. There's no interactions here besides the window. I just made it smaller and it's yelling at me to move back. You have to use your computer peripherals, whether it's external or the built-in trackpad, keyboard. It has to be that. There is no pinch to tap and all that stuff. All right. I know a lot of people are going to ask about long editing times. Is the mask comfortable? And first, let me say that everybody's experience is totally different. I think we've seen people say on social media it's absolutely unusable. Other people say it's totally comfortable and feels like there's nothing on their face. Where I stand is I'm not going to act like you don't feel that glass and metal is on your face, but at the same time, I've worn this thing for hours and hours for editing sessions, playing around, FaceTiming, all this different stuff, and there's really never been major discomfort. Never have I gotten to the point where I have to take this thing off. Yes, I still usually have the ski goggle marks for a little bit after wearing it, but that goes away. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't feel any bad, and I've never even used or tried the other strap that goes over your head. So everything I've used is just with this, which apparently is the least comfortable strap. The best advice I got was from my friends at the Apple Store, who told me that the fit is everything. If you get the fit wrong, if you place the back strap in the wrong place, if you let this sit on slightly the wrong part of your face, if you have the wrong sizing guide, that will greatly change your comfort level using the Vision Pro. So make sure you get a really good solid fit. Now, if you've made it this far, you're still on the fence, the ultimate question You have $4,000, you don't currently have any sort of editing device, and you want to get one. Should you buy this? Should you buy a MacBook Pro? What should you get? As of right now, this is what I would say. The editing experience, I think, is totally usable. If you are in the content creation space, if you are in control of your editing workflow, I think it's great. If you work with agencies, clients where you're working on other projects, if you have to kind of integrate into someone else's editing workflow, as a lot of professional freelancers or people who edit for their specific job have to do, you may have more of a difficult time because obviously you can't plug in hard drives, you can't really connect to servers easily. So while the editing experience is, in my opinion, pretty damn good and pretty in line with what a regular monitor experience is like, the entire workflow in terms of getting the footage and assets may be a little clunky. So while this certainly isn't a flawless machine, I think a lot of people are forgetting that this is a Gen 1 device of a brand new category for Apple. No matter what the price is, I think you'd be insane going into this product thinking is going to be near perfect. That's just not how technology works. If you think a person who paid $20,000 for a flat screen 2 decades ago got a better experience than someone who pays for a $200 4K TV nowadays, doesn't make sense. This is the best that Apple can do for the technology that's available right now. But next year, 2 years, 5 years, whenever it is when Gen 2, 3, 4 happen, it doesn't mean that this is a bad device. It just means that technology is going to continue to improve, and enough of us nerds need to just keep using and innovating to use a device like this. So I totally get if this device is not for you. That's totally fine, but that does not make it a bad device. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.